Hey, so the votes are in. I've heard you all loud and clear, and I am so glad you all agree with me. Let's go ahead and make pattern. Here we go. Pattern number 15 based on its image. So it's no longer a mystery pattern. Mystery solved. It is a gorgeous carriage wrapper. I'm just going to make a sample size, of course. Here is the incomplete pattern. And we can at least use this for reference because there's a fairly good portion of this pattern here. So I did look at the pattern. I grabbed a bunch of very pretty spring type colors because it's a carriage wrapper. I wanted it to look pretty. These are the same yarn. There's just, not all on the same ball. I thought that would be a really pretty ombre effect. And for this center little daisies here, I want to use this light lemon yellow and this green for the leaves. And then for the darker daisies along the side, I want to use this wine color that we used in the last video. And I think that would look really pretty with the green for the leaves. So this is my color palette essentially. There we go. We'll put that one right there. This is my color palette for this project. Isn't that adorable? Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that we decided to do this. Anyways, now what I was really confused about was, is the single crochet a slip stitch or a single crochet? I still cannot tell. It looks like it could be either one. I mean, those look like regular single crochets, don't they? When you look at that right there, but you have to bear in mind, this is a drawing of a finished piece of work. I think these look like single crochets, like modern US single crochets, modern UK double crochets. So I think that these are going to be regular. Let's just settle this now. We're going to go with modern US single crochet is what we're going to go with. So let's just get started. I mean, reading the pattern and looking at the picture, I can conclude, let me get my little pointer here, that when they say to work in stripes, or is it strips, each one of these is a completely different color from the other one. And you can see where they joined them. If you look between these black diamonds here, you can see where they're joined. So you can clearly see, if you look on the edge here, you can see one here. I hope you can see that. There is a seam underneath this black work. So at first I thought we were making them like that, but no, we are making full columns, and that's why it says when each, I think it's stripe, it says stripe. When each stripe is sufficiently long, then it gets into working the stars. So it wants you to make one whole column and then work your stars and continue on. And then I believe the arrangement is just putting them together and working this over the top. Now, what is this? I kind of think that it is a pre-made spool of some kind of edging, which I have plenty of. Not in black, but that's okay. So I'm going to work in this direction. I'm going to start with this color here, then move on to this one, and I'm going to do 4. Am I going to do 4 rows? I could make this into a scarf. I can just do 3 rows. I don't know how wide I'm going to make them. It doesn't say, doesn't give any direction on that. The color of the flowers have changed. Instead, because I am using such light colors, and now I know that these are going to be done in color block, I think what I'm going to do is a white in the middle and then the yellows on the side. So this is going to be a very light color, very spring type color. So I'm going to start with this, and I did practice a little bit with which hook size I wanted. This calls for a 5.5 millimeter, but I think I like the 5 millimeter best. And now I just need to figure out how many stitches, how wide do I want each column to be. I think I want this to be sort of a scarf, maybe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I am using a 5 millimeter now. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's see here. I may want to just do 15. Okay, if I do 15, I'll have 4.5 inches. Let's just maybe do 4. See. We want to have a good enough space. We may actually bump up to 5. 5, 10, 15. It'll be a 15-inch wide. That's over a foot wide. That's a pretty sufficient width. I think we'll do 5 inches wide each so that we have plenty of room to work the stars, but I'm calling them daisies. So let's see here. That was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Let's see if I work my single crochets back, because it will change size when you work your first row. So you really have to figure all this stuff out before you commit, because sometimes working a row or two will shrink it or it'll make it grow. So I'm going to finish working my single crochets across and then we'll measure it. I'm starting with 20 stitches. I started with 21 chains. I haven't pulled on it, tugged on it, or stretched it or anything. And where are we at? We are at a little more than 5 inches. Well, pretty on the number for 5 inches. And I think that's fair enough. And then we can work the star in the middle. They call it a star, but then they talk about leaves, you know. And when looking at the picture, looks like you're going to want somewhere in the area of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 stitches on each side unworked. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that section right there is where we're going to work the daisy. I want to call it a daisy. And I think that works. What do you think? I think that works. I'm going to keep going from here. So now what I've been doing to try to recreate this texture that they have here is I will work 2 rows regular and then 1 row, the 3rd row, back loop only, to kind of give it that texture that the image appears to have, the drawing appears to have. So of course, I'm not going to make a full scarf. I'm going to make a sample, because when we get to the embroidery part, that's going to eat up the majority of the time in this video, because I don't know needlepoint very well, but I'm going to go for it. I imagine my first couple are going to look like really bad, and then it'll be okay. Then I'll start to figure it out. Okay, so this is the 2nd row in this pink color. And I'm going to work the first stitch, the full stitch, and then back loop only on the rest. And then the last stitch, I work the full stitch. Anytime I do any kind of ribbing, I always work the full stitch for the first and last. It just keeps the edge clean, and it looks nice. So this row here, it wears 2 hats. It counts as the 3rd row, but also as the 1st row of the next group. So it's row 3 and it's row 1 in my mind. Like, I'm just coming up with this stuff, you know. But when I was practicing with it, it looked pretty good and it made sense to me. Pretty much all of the rows where you work the right side out, which this is going to be the right side out, get back loop only. And all of the back rows, or the rows where the work is the back facing, if I can ever learn how to speak any form of English, those are the rows that we work just through both loops. So now that the back of the work is facing, I'm going to work through both loops. And this counts as row 2. Oh, I just realized I have had my game playing in the background the whole time. Mute that. I have Fallout 76 on in the background. I'm not actually playing it, it's just on the title screen. I was playing it a couple of hours ago when I first woke up. Okay, so now the next row, the right side is facing, and I'm also counting this row 3. So I will work the first full stitch and then back loop only. And I believe this is going to create a similar texture that we are seeing in the image. It doesn't at all say to do this in the pattern, but these patterns, and I think we all know this already, these patterns largely rely on the images that they share. So they keep the wording quite vague because they know that the person working the pattern is simply going to refer to the image for a lot of the work, which is what makes these mystery challenges so challenging. And then I'll work the full stitch. And you can see how it's starting to create that texture that we see here. You see what I mean? I think it does anyway. So I'm going to keep going and I'm going to work. I don't know how many rows. I don't know. But I'm going to work all 3 colors. The next color will be the peach. And then the next color will be this soft, kind of muted yellow. And then we will start working on the flowers, which are going to be yellow and white. I kind of want to put like a brown flower on here and then like a white flower on here. No, like a yellow flower on here and a white flower on here. What do you think? That kind of changes the whole picture. I don't know. We'll figure that part out when we get there. In the meantime, I have several hours of work to do because I've got to make some columns. So I'll be back. For you, it'll be this. For me, I'll be 3 in the afternoon and it's 8 a.m. So I did a thing. I undid my single crochets and I started the work over again with half double crochets, which is not at all in the pattern, but doesn't it kind of look even more like the images than before? It looks even more like the image than before, in my opinion. If you look at the ratio of what they're calling stars to each stitch, that's more than just a single crochet, isn't it? That's about a half double crochet. But I don't think they worked half double crochets, but that's the way it looks like it was drawn. And I feel like this meets this a little bit better. What do we think? Are we mad about completely just changing it? It'll work up faster this way too, but the stitches are a little looser. That's the only thing because we're working half doubles. But what do we think? I think I kind of like it better. And I'm still doing, all the front facing stitches, back loop only. I don't know. I kind of think it looks right. I really hope you guys don't mind. You can really see it. You see what I mean? I really hope you guys don't mind, but that's the way I think I'm going to do half doubles. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I will be right back. I'm going to change something else. Whenever I was able to take a step back and look at the pattern, look at the picture, I see light, light, dark, right? Like, I still want to keep this a light color, light, light, dark, right? Looking at this. And then I can put white flowers over the peach and peach flowers over the white. This is what I want to do. And then use brown here instead of black. It's going to look like something for spring. I realize that, but it's what I'm looking back at all my yarn. I mean, I do have browns and tans. I just don't want to use them in this. And when I look at this image, I see something so light and springy and pretty, and I see greens and pinks and browns and creams whenever I look at this. That's the way my mind. Everybody is different. I might be choosing colors that upset you to the point that you turn the video off. I get it. We're all different. But if you want to follow along, pick colors that are speaking to you, because these are the colors that are speaking to me right now. These colors, these are the colors that are speaking to me, and I really want to use them. So I'm going to go cream, cream, peach, 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 cream, and with green, of course, and then the dark brown. Okay, that's the way I'm going. Okay, color change like number 72. This is the first one. It's not right. I didn't know quite how to do the little flower down here. It's funny they call it a star, but they talk about leaves. Then I did it like this, and I didn't have enough room, so I did a half one. This is bad, but I went back to the wine color. I opted for, I just needed to see it with the cream and the green. So this one here I did better. I was able to fit 4 on here, and they look much better. So I'm going to show you how I did those. Of course, do it your way. Don't do it exactly the way I'm doing, because this is not an embroidery channel. We do not come here for embroidery for a reason. I do not know how to do embroidery. I am winging this. Okay. So I want to put the bottom in this area right here. And so I'm going to start, let's see, it's not going to be even. I think I'm going to start right here. So I'll come up through the back. And I will admit, my backs are looking a lot more clean compared to past times I have attempted embroidery on this channel, which is like 2 or 3 other times total. Okay, so, oh, it's not going to be long enough. It's still not going to be long enough. So I will have to, see, that looks more centered than the way I was about to do it. I'll come here, and I just don't know what I'm doing with embroidery, y'all. Okay, so this part here is not a tutorial. This is an embroidery story called My Struggles. Okay, coming down here, then come back up through. I am holding this off to the side so I don't get it tangled in like I typically do. You can see it's off to the side there. Then come up to the top. Back through the middle again. Then I count 5 spaces over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go down into that 5th one. Come back up through the center and do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the leaf, air quotes, leaf portion. And I'm tying these in knots. Don't come for me. I am tying these in knots. I apologize for nothing. Okay. On this panel, I'm going to do the cream flowers, star things. Ooh, don't want to make that too tight. Do not come for me. This is a sample. I would never do this if this were going to be a finished product or whatever. This is just a sample. Okay, I'm just doing it for the sake of the video. Okay, so now with the cream, there is my cream color. Here we go. Pull out a good size amount. And I fold this in half. I don't do this in a single strand. I double the strand up. As you can see. Make it even. Okay, come down here to the bottom, and it's a lot easier to figure out where you're going to put the little colored portion because you already have the green there. Okay, this came uneven somehow. There we go, and I'll just hold that off to the side. And I do 2 coming off each one because that's what it looks like in the picture. I said it like that because I don't see the picture in front of me. Where did the picture go? Just a moment. I found it, and it looks like there are 2 coming, as you can see, coming out from there. Okay. Okay, so I just eyeball it. There's no special formula to this portion. I just eyeball it. Probably not smart to do that. Then just next to it, you know what, maybe right here is good. I'll come back through and go back down, and I'll do that all around. Then come up over here and put 2 of them over here, and they're not the same length because I just don't know what I'm doing. But I need to see this done. So as far as the joins go, I think that they used in the picture, I think that they used that, or it's part of the description that we don't have, part of the pattern that we're missing. It almost seems like they used a prefabricated edging there, but I'm going to go ahead and join with a raised single crochet join in brown. I think this needs brown to tie it all together. It looks very springtime in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing the rest of these off camera, but you get the basic idea of what I'm doing, and I'm going to go grab a brown, come back, and we will join. Okay, this is the brown I want to use. I have it off to the side so I can see it because what holds my phone up covers the entire center of the phone. So it's just off to the side so I can see how it looks on camera. And yeah, I like this dark brown. This is chocolate brown. Okay. So I want to join with this chocolatey brown color. I really, really like it. So I go for the center pull and, okay, so to join these, which they're going to be joined like this. I know this first one is, it's such a mess, but it was my practice panel. I really love the green with the cream and this like corally peachy color. Ooh, I'm loving everything about all of this. Okay, so we'll pull this one aside for now, and I'm going to join these on the outside of the work. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought I had all my tails secure. So, all right. Join down here at the bottom, and where is, okay. Oh, this brown yarn just came out as such a mess. I'm going to leave a fairly long tail because I'm going to want to weave quite a bit of that in as I go. And so the longer the tail, the longer the weaving in. It'll be more secure. Chain 1, go back in. I'm just going to work a single crochet join. I'm going to try to space everything apart as best I can. We are working on the sides of half double crochets, so it's not going to be the clearest to see, but I just want to try to make it as even as possible. And I guess I'll put one right there. Okay, so I'm going to work this all the way down, and it's going to be a little bit fussy. I have no doubt about that. What happened? But just to get a sneak peek, I think it's going to look great joined with the brown. So I'll be right back. I'm going to finish working this up. Okay. There it is. I don't have a border on it. You can put any border you want, but what do you guys think for real, for real? There is the original pattern. It looks better drawn than it does realized, probably because I don't know how to embroider, but I like it. I like the brown. It really ties everything in. And there you go. It's turned out quite a bit wider than I thought. No, not really, only an inch. So we're up to 16 inches instead of 15. So it grew a little bit, that's okay. But I just genuinely want to know what you guys think. We were able to see this pattern realized. I don't know if we had the complete pattern, if I still would have been able to figure it out without the photo. So there it is. What do you guys think? Oh, I'm so glad I got to see this like realized, you know? Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Okay, I like it. There's the whole piece. I had to pull my phone off the stand so you could see. There is the whole piece. Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, on to the next. So thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for the yes votes for this, because I really wanted to see this. All right, guys, I love you lots. I will see you in the next mystery. Bye.